Hi, folks. Steve Urban here from the Riderflex Podcast. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by two companies I'm deeply involved with. First up, Reliance, your trusted partner for nationwide robot maintenance and repair, specializing in humanoid and autonomous robots for homes and businesses. Visit roboreliance.com to learn more. And for all your home maintenance needs, there's Cura Home Maintenance of Colorado. From air duct cleaning to dryer vent cleaning to gutter cleanouts and much more. Check them out at curahomeservices.com. And finally, don't forget about the two books we've published in the Riderflex Guide series. The first being the Riderflex Guide, Inspiring and Hiring. This one is targeted at all types of managers and supervisors, anybody that interviews and hires people. And the second one, the Riderflex Guide 2.0, Mastering Job Interviews, designated to help all levels of job candidates prepare for and ace the interview. And now for today's episode. Please subscribe and enjoy.
I am in Austria. Yes.
Okay, is that where you're from originally? Tell us. Yeah, give us some background. Where are you from? Family? Give us some background.
Are we on already? Okay, it started.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do
this. So yes, I'm an Italian who lives in Austria.
Okay.
And when I wake up in the morning, my clients are still sleeping because most of them are in the US.
Okay.
And so I have a very nice morning doing whatever I want. And then in my afternoon, they start waking up. Then I get some questions and I start answering questions. So yeah, I'm a European living a global life.
Do you, does that mean you have to work late because they start hitting you with stuff and then it's already 7 p.m. and you still got stuff coming in?
It could easily get late nights. And so like many entrepreneurs, I have to put a line in the sand, right? I have to decide an hour where I just stop working because I could do this the whole night.
Right. Yep. Tell me about your family a little bit. Mom, dad, siblings. Just give us a little about who you are as a person, if you don't mind.
Yes. Single child, never had to split anything. And now I have 3 kids. And I go, oh my God, I have to discuss about everything. Like who gets how many cookies? We have 5 cookies. We have a problem. We have a war going on.
Gotcha. How old are they?
They are 2, 6, and 9.
Ooh, man, it's busy at your house, buddy.
Mm. Oh, yeah. It's singing, dancing all the time. We're a band. 1 second we're a band. The next second we are superheroes. The next second I'm a monster and I'm hunting everyone. The next second we are a family of cats and we are licking each other.
How about your wife? Well, she's probably busy with 3 kids, or does she do something as well?
Oh, yes. She has to run the whole family while I am on podcasts, right? So I have the nice job here. I just talk to people.
Yeah.
She has the real job. She actually runs a family.
Very good. Okay. All right. And was your dad a sales guy, an entrepreneur, your mom? I mean, talk to me about your parents and your influence a little bit.
My father is an engineer who became teacher mainly. He had a little excursus into also being the mayor of his city, but he was mainly most of the time a teacher teaching maths and physics in schools. And my mom is more entrepreneurial. My mom, she had this wild genetic of an entrepreneur where you have an idea, you make it up, you just build something and see if it works. That's my mom.
Oh, what kind of businesses did she have? Did she have some little businesses while you were growing up?
I wouldn't call them businesses, but let me tell you this. She was working for a radio station. Okay. And one day she goes, hey, what if I start my own radio station? And then she finds a couple partners who actually buy into this idea that you could start your own radio station. And so they find some gray area where a private person is allowed to start a radio station. They find a hill, they put an antenna on there, and they start their own radio station.
Oh, wow, pretty cool. All right. How long did that last?
A few months.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah.
wild idea.
Okay, so she's a free spirit.
She's the free spirit. He is
Okay.
more the logical guy.
Okay. And all right. Well, why did you major in philosophy and psychology? How'd you make that decision?
I had no clue what to do. I was 18. You have to decide college in Europe. And I was like, I just see jobs that I don't want to have.
Okay.
And I don't see the one that I want to have. So let me win some time. What's the discipline where I just get to read and think and have time to find out what this whole thing is? I didn't know what's my superpower. Where can I contribute most?
Okay.
The normal jobs, like being a doctor, being a lawyer, I didn't see myself doing that. And so I wanted to win time. And when you study philosophy and psychology, you have a lot of time.
Do you dissect people now? Do you still find yourself dissecting people's personalities and styles when you meet them?
Yes, I'm terrible. I'm shrinking everybody in my head. I don't tell them, but I'm continuously finding patterns, spotting patterns. The worst thing about a psychologist is you see patterns, right? And so you see when people are bullshitting you, and you see when people are bullshitting themselves. And so most of the time I'm polite and I say nothing. But if they pay me to get better, well, then I will say something.
Very good. Oh, I like that. Okay. Hey, it's a good philosophy to follow. All right. I like it. Very good. One more question about your when you were younger. Were you a good kid? Were you a wild kid? Were you a rebel? Like, where were you in the mix there?
Both. If my father was around, I was a very good kid. He wasn't around, I was wild.
Now, your dad, was he tough? He was tough on you, huh?
Logical. He had rules.
Okay.
Rules that were clear and were easy to follow.
Yeah. Okay. Did you grow up in Vienna? I mean, is that where you went to high school and all that?
I grew up in Rome and in South Italy, and then in Austria.
Okay. Well, how old were you when you moved from Italy?
So I was in Rome until 8, and then South Italy until 14, and then to Austria with 14.
How many languages do you speak?
Italian, German, English.
Okay. And you're best at which one?
None of them.
Okay. All right. Well, that comes in handy. Is most of your business? Well, I guess we can get into business. All right. So, did you have entrepreneurial spirit when you were younger? I mean, were you thinking, okay, I'm gonna major, I'm gonna be a psychologist, and then you get out of school, and are you still like, I don't know what the hell I want to do? How did that entrepreneurial stuff even happen?
I had no clue. And so I had to try out stuff. The first thing that I tried was to become a little Sigmund Freud. You know Sigmund Freud with his pipe, and then there he has people on his couch, and he's asking you about your dreams.
So you tried that. You tried that. You actually did that. Yeah. Okay.
I had the couch. I had the real couch, the real thing. People would lie down, tell me their dreams. And after a few dreams, I was like, oh my God, is this boring?
Yeah.
And so one of those guys, he shows up, tells me the dream. And then after the dream, he goes, and by the way, my drink is now in the supermarket. And I say, wait a moment. You came up with a drink and it's now in all supermarkets? And he goes, oh, yeah. I'm an entrepreneur. And I said, wow, tell me more about this. This is cool. I said, no. Can we talk about the dream? I said, who cares about the dream? Your drink is out there, right? And that moment, I realized, okay, I'm a terrible psychologist. I shouldn't do this. But hey, what is this entrepreneur thing?
Yeah.
That was the start of everything.
Okay, very good. All right. But then you got in, you had a job as like a project manager or something. I don't know. Before you started your own business, you did a couple of things, didn't you?
I was lucky that at that time, it was the 90s. And in the 90s, you could have a job at one of the big management consultancies, whatever your background was. You only needed the best grades. So if you had top grades, whatever you studied, even philosophy, then you could start at a McKinsey, etc. And so I was lucky, and I started with one of the big management consultancies.
Okay.
And they taught me everything: economy, leadership, cash flows, marketing strategy, everything. Because one of these consultancies are an El Dorado of learning. You have smart people, and you just say, hey, I want to be on that project, you help everyone, you get into those projects if you want to work hard enough. I did that 4 years. I was on every project. I did not have a weekend for 4 years.
Okay, good. That's perfect. All right. During that time, were you getting the entrepreneurial bug?
During the time, I was sitting with the boards of BMW, Google, etc. I was sitting with the executive team, and they were giving us the biggest challenges that they have. Like, hey, in this market, that product is tanking. We don't know why. How much time do we have to solve this? 0 days. We have to solve it today. And okay, let's start finding out what's going on, and then let's start finding out how to solve this. And of course, there is no solution for that. And so I was looking around. We were a team. I was the youngest, and some of us were really smart, and they were coming up with some processes how to find the problem and solve the problem. And I was in the middle of it, helping everybody. And so 4 years later, without a weekend, I was in 3 continents, in 100 boards, solving those problems. I learned a lot. And I wanted to bring these processes that I had saved, of course, on my computer, right? Because it was mainly spreadsheets and docs. And so I had them saved and said, okay, I can use this. Who needs this, actually? And then I realized entrepreneurs have the same questions. They just don't have these big teams of consultants and all those tools. They have to find it out on their own. And I was like, okay, let's bring these tools to the people who need it right now, and that's the entrepreneurs.
And then you woke up and quit your job and opened up your own business?
The process was, okay, what's my annual expenses? Right. I started a spreadsheet. I'm a spreadsheet guy, so I started a spreadsheet. What are my annual costs? What do I need to feel safe? Okay, I feel safe if I have 6 months expenses saved.
Okay.
Right? How long will it take me to land my first 3 clients? And I said, okay, something between 6 months and 18 months. And so I started saving for that. And I didn't have the patience to go all the way through. I think at 40% of that number, I went my own.
Wow. Were you married at the time or single?
I was in love and not yet married to my wife.
So you told your fiance, hey, I'm going to quit my job. I have no idea how much money I'm going to make, but everything's going to be all right.
Yes, exactly like that. And she was like, why? We don't need more money. And I said, yeah, but this is my adventure.
And that is important, right? Life is so much about experiences, not just the money. If the money comes, great, but the experience, I think, and the adventure is what matter most, at least to me.
Men need a big problem to solve. Give us a big adventure.
No doubt. I totally agree. Okay, so you got your first. Who was your first client? Can you say?
I can't remember. I think it was a bank.
Okay.
In Europe.
Okay. All right. Came from a friend, from a referral. Somebody was like, hey, you knew somebody?
Something like that. Somebody called me and I said, sure. I have time.
Sure. And they said, how much do you charge? And you said, I have no idea. I'll figure that out and get back to you.
I said a lot.
Okay. What year was that?
Oh, We're talking like 20 years ago.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
45. I'm
You're
45. This was in my 20s.
Wow. Okay. Um, okay. So you've had the business for that long, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Tell us about it. Give us the overview, real quick, and for the listeners. Now I don't know what all you want to mention, but I got strategysprints.com pulled up.
Yes, that's
Strategy.
my business. Strategy
Yeah.
sprint. I wanted to do what I was doing, but for entrepreneurs. And so entrepreneurs, they don't have the time to sit 8 hours in a Marriott hotel and listen to your theory stuff. So I needed something that's like Jarvis to Iron Man, right? Iron Man is always in action. He needs something now. Hey, Jarvis, should I jump through that window or that window? Okay, tell me now. And then go away because I need to jump.
Right.
And so I was like, how do I build a Jarvis for entrepreneurs? And so I had my spreadsheets and my Google Docs, and I put them all together. I made some videos explaining them. And then I was like, hey, now I have kind of a CEO university, right? So I have some knowledge, I have some tools.
Okay.
Now I need a way for them to quickly access that. And who needs this? And I was like, okay, the entrepreneurs need this. Okay. What's the best way for them to get access to this thing? And I was like, must be on their phone, because the only thing they always have with them is their phone. If they're in a cab or wherever they are, they can access from a phone. And I said, okay, let me be accessible on the phone in as many hours of the day as possible.
Okay.
And so if I'm sleeping, they still have access to the videos and the templates and the explanation on the templates. And then a few hours later, I will wake up and I can pick it up from there. And this is how we created the strategy sprints method. So it's in sprints of 7 days. On Monday, we identify what's the most important thing to tackle this week. Maybe it's marketing, maybe it's sales, maybe it's improving the product, maybe it's improving the price, maybe it's a pipeline issue, right? Every week has their challenge. And so what's the most important thing to fix this week? That's the Monday. And then from Monday to Friday is about solving that. And on Friday, it's measuring. Okay, what worked? What didn't? What do we learn about the market right now, about the product right now, about our capacity as a team? That's the strategy sprints method. Monday focus, Monday to Friday doing, and then Friday measuring.
Mm. Do you find that most salespeople just aren't organized with process and so forth? They're the good talkers, the good relationship people, but they're just not. They can't organize their way out of a paper bag. So your process has come in super handy, I'm guessing.
Yes, many of us are active, like Iron Man is super active, right? And so they need that Jarvis that's organized. Totally. Because when you are in the field, right, where you are in the heat of it. And that's a very different team. Like you have the team that's in the field, that's in the heat of the moment. They go with the flow, they improvise, they go with the vibes. And that's how it should be. And then I think they need support systems. So for example, they need everything that's not sales taken from them. Everything that's admin should be done by software or by support stuff, right? And then there is some structure. For example, I just go with the flow in sales calls. I don't have a script that's a hard script.
Okay.
But I follow 8 specific steps. You see this, people watching will see a yellow pyramid behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 8 steps of closing the deal. I have it behind me, I have it in front of me, and I have it as a wallpaper on my computer. That is, if you imagine a river, right? A great sales conversation is one that feels totally natural, but it is professional. And so how do you make something totally natural? They don't even feel like they were in a sales conversation, but it is absolutely professional. So my picture is it's a river. You don't really know how deep the water is and what's below the water. but you have 8 stepping stones that you can use on your way. In each river is different, but in each river you have 8 things that are always the same. Those are the 8 steps of closing a deal. I train on this and I practice this. And all of my clients, they send me their sales recordings and I give them feedback in each of these 8 steps.
I see.
And that improves conversions a lot.
Is your service a one-time deal? Is it an initial surge and then ongoing follow-up and so forth? Talk to me about how it works. How's your revenue structure work there with your clients?
So we have different ways depending on what they need. Some of them, they just need the knowledge and they do it on their own. For that, we have a community called the Sprint Club. Other people say, no, just the knowledge, that's not enough. Hey, I want time with you, giving me feedback. And so we have a group coaching that comes together every Monday. That's the 200K club because it adds 200K to their life. And some others say, no, I want one-on-one time. And they go for a strategy sprint. That's a 90 days optimization and full implementation of all the tools just with them one-on-one.
I see. Okay. But do they get the other packages too, or just that, or no? Is there something that includes all?
Yes, they get everything. Yes.
I see. And what's the majority of your clients? Where do they fall? Which bucket, A, B, or C? What do they choose? The majority of your revenue?
Well, most go for the one-on-one implementation because, that's the maximum support that they can get. They have 90 days, 24/7 Jarvis, and they really feel like Iron Man, and they have us on their team, right?
Okay.
Some people say, well, that's too intense for me. It feels too big. Let me be in the group coaching. I ask my questions, but sometimes I just get inspired by what the others ask because that's also relevant for me. And some others say, no, I just want access to all the tools and to the community, and that's enough for me.
Okay. Well, do you focus on a specific industry and do you focus on a certain size of company? Talk to me about that.
We love professional services, finance, and technology. This is where we are the best. Have we worked also with other industries? Yes, over the last decades. We have also had amazing results in other industries, but we are really the best with professional services, finance, and technology. And the reason is we are very good with high-ticket offers. Offers that are 10K, 20K, 200K, 200 million. This is where we are very good at. And that's very different from a low-ticket offer. Different funnel, different technique, different marketing, different positioning, different messaging.
Okay. Within professional services, anything in particular is your specialty?
Yes. So it's still sales acceleration, and it's for marketing agencies, consultancies like ourselves, right? Management consultancies, IT consultancies, design shops that design websites or design merchandise. Merchandise teams like it a lot. Business intelligence teams that create dashboards and work with the data. Cybersecurity teams, B2B cybersecurity loves sprinting. These kind of teams.
All right. Certain size company. Are they small, mid cap, large cap? What are you targeting there? I'm guessing. I mean, you're big enough now to where I'm guessing startups can't afford you. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But who are you targeting? Size of companies?
Yeah. When we started out, we had only these big companies working with us, like the Googles and the BMWs, right? And then with the group coaching, now we have also mid-sized teams that come into the group coachings.
Okay.
And now that we have added the last addition, the newest addition since January of this year, we have also the Sprint Club. And the Sprint Club is $49 a month. So now even solopreneurs can access our
Good move. Great
stuff.
move. Okay, great move. Yeah, I like the diversification there into your small entrepreneurs. Yeah, good move on your part. Is it if I pay the big package, do I get you or do I get one of your people? Do you do any of the coaching anymore?
You get a certified strategy sprints coach. Yes, I am one of them. Yes, so you might get Simon.
Okay.
I love coaching, and I try to do as much as possible. I don't have so much time available for that because I am the CEO. I have also other tasks, but I try to coach myself too because I love it.
Okay. How many employees?
Almost no employees. It's a very lean, mean machine.
Oh, okay. What do you have? 1099? Yeah, contractors, or what do you have? Like 1099 fellow consultants that you push projects to if you can't do them? How do you do it?
So the core team is just 5 people that work full time. So that's the core team, right? And then we have freelancers, contractors for just project-based thing. Like, hey, let's improve the website. That will be a contract with a freelancer for that duration. And when the website is done, our work is done.
Okay.
That's another like 15 contractors at a time, because we don't do the website all the time, but there is always something that we're working on with around 15 contractors. And then there are the strategy sprints coaches. They are franchisees, right? They pay to use the brand and to get qualified and to have the newest tools.
I see. Oh, is that okay? I see. Now I see.
Jarvis needs knowledge and needs technology, and so they pay to be always to access brand and process. Think of McDonald's, right? You pay to access brand and process, and then you start your own in your own city.
Is that the bulk of your revenue for your company from the franchisees, or no?
No, they are more like my colleagues, right?
All right.
That's
okay.
They're like my colleagues. They pay, but not that much.
Okay. Tell me about your book.
The book, this is funny. It came out 2 years ago, Strategy Sprints. And then it's a very small publisher in London, Kogan Page. But they did such a great job that 2 years later, China wanted to have the rights, and now it came out in Chinese.
Okay.
So this is the Chinese version.
And
I
see. All right.
It took a year. And so it took a year to come out in China because there are so many committees there that have to prove if your content can be published. So
interesting.
Wow. And then the same publisher writes me another email and says, Simon, we sold the rights to a Russian version of your book. So
Great.
They are an amazing publisher. I really recommend Kogan Page to everyone. It's not one of the biggest and most known publishers on the planet, but they have a superpower. So if you want your book to be published in many, many languages, that's their superpower. That's what they're great at.
How about that? All right. Does that cost a fortune to do, or it pays off because you get the revenue back?
Well, you get paid to do that. It's a licensing deal. You get paid, and then they can do it in their country.
Okay. Maybe I need to contact them about the books that we've published.
Yes.
I will do that. All right. Very good. Good to know. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay. Is your book available on Amazon? I'm guessing it is.
Amazon, yes. Strategy Sprints.
Okay. Strategy Sprints. All right. Very good. Is that it for you? Are you done being an author? Or are you going to write another one?
You know what's funny? I said, so I'm done. I don't want to do another book because it was so much work.
Yeah.
It's you can do a book or you can do like a book, right? And so we did a book. And after that, I was like, I will never do a book again. This was like a full year of work. Come on. That's not, it's like having a baby. Come on. No, give me a break, right? At least 2 years, no books. And then, and this is what happens. One of our partners, Jay Abraham, you might be familiar with Jay. He says, okay, Simon, let's collaborate. Let's do something. And then we decided just last week that we're starting a book. So
all right.
I'm on it again.
Okay, very good. All right, cool. Well, congratulations on it. Sounds like it's moving along. Cool. How about podcast? I know you do a lot of podcasts. Have you ever thought about doing your own show, or do you have your own show and I missed that?
I do have two YouTube channels. One is called The Sales Show with Simon Severino, and one is The Investing Show with Simon Severino. In one, I teach how to make money, and in the other one, how to keep money.
Oh, okay. Very good. I didn't know you were a financial advisor as well. You got all kinds of tricks up sleeve.
Well, I didn't start at it, right? I started as somebody who helps you make money in the market.
Yeah.
But a secondary problem that you have now, what do you do with all these millions?
Yeah. Well, hey, I need that problem.
Well, you will have that problem if you optimize your sales. And so I had this problem and I had to learn from scratch. I had no financial literacy on how to actually keep that money. Because if you just have it in your bank account, it's a melting ice cube. Inflation is going to melt it away.
Well.
And so the dollar is the worst place to put your money, and a bank is not a great place to have your money. Yeah. And so I had to learn that. And the best way for me to learn things is to do it in public, to be accountable. And so that's what I did. I started a YouTube channel and said, guys, here I am, sales coach who made some money, and now I need to manage $1 million. I don't know how to do that. We will learn this. We will learn fundamental analysis, technical analysis, options trading, whatever we need to learn. We're going to learn this. Are you interested? I will show up every week here. And my portfolio is totally transparent. And what I'm learning, I will share with you. And again, guess what? There are spreadsheets, etc. I'm sharing the process, right? Because that's how I operate.
Very good. Okay. Yeah, cool. I appreciate you mentioning that. One more time for the listeners. What are the channels on YouTube? What are they?
So it's The Sales Show with Simon Severino and The Investing Show with Simon Severino.
Okay, very good. All right. Sounds good. By the way, you do a nice job with your following on LinkedIn as well. Really good. Yeah. Where is your biggest following?
I guess it's LinkedIn. Yeah.
Is it LinkedIn? Okay. Do you post on the rest of the social media channels or no?
I'm a lot on X.
Okay.
I love X. That's my newest hobby.
Well, hey man, you don't have much time for hobbies. You got 3 little kids at home and a business and podcasting and books. You don't have any time. What are you talking about?
You know what's funny? When you start systemizing things, right? This is what every entrepreneur needs to learn, especially if you have kids, right? Because then you have to really get good at time management.
You got that right.
But there is never enough time, so you have to systemize the things. So I build them, then I document the process, and I hand the process over either to a person or to a software. Because if you don't do that, you can never start picking up the next thing, right? Mm-hmm. So right now I'm picking up the next thing, which is the next book and options trading. That's the next thing that I'm picking up. And so in order to do that, the other systems, they have to run on their own or have somebody that runs them. The first part you have to do as an entrepreneur, you have to create the rails for the first train. But then second train, third train, fourth train, you have them run by other people.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, good advice. Okay, with our remaining time, I want to chat about how technology, and specifically AI, is affecting consultants. I guess is a good way to look at a good question. What is your opinion and outlook as it relates to us, everybody on the planet now having a super smart, high IQ GPT agent we can talk to? What does that do to the consulting world? Talk to me, Simon.
If you are a consultant, now you have a competitor. And I would take them very, very seriously. So I think consultancies with AI are now 10 times more productive. And without it, you are history. So how we are using AI, we're heavy users of Claude. We went from Claude to Claude Pro to Claude Max. I'm paying a few $100s for Claude by Anthropic, and I would love to pay even more per month because it gave us something like 15 employees. So, for example, in the Sprint Club, 217 members right now, and it's 24/7. Like we're Jarvis for them, and so they are asking questions 24/7. And a recent question was, Simon, I just have 2 hours per week to work on the business. The rest I'm working in the business.
Mm-hmm.
How should I use these 2 hours? What's the highest leverage activity that I can do in these 2 hours? Should I increase my pricing? Should I increase the number of referrals that I get per week? Should I increase the conversion rate, so the win rate in the sales call in percentage this week? Or should I just land one more deal?
Okay.
Great question with 4 variables. And so I go to Claude and say, Claude, can you build a dashboard that shows in real time? I want to model this in real time. What happens if I just improve the conversion rate by 1%? What's the impact on revenue and on profits? Pretty complex, right? You would need weeks to build that live dashboard. Guess what? 1 hour later, that dashboard was live in the Sprint Club, and it's still live there and people are using it.
Mm.
So this is the superpower. I don't know how to code. I will never learn how to code. I don't need anymore.
Yeah, I don't think you need to. Yeah, I don't think you need to learn how to code. Right? Yeah.
No, don't learn how to code, guys. Learn how to use the AI. And then I said, okay, but now I need a different color for the profits because it looks similar to the revenues. Can you make the profits in green and the revenues in orange? Boom, it did that. I published it in the Sprint Club. I said, guys, start using it. Try to break it. Tell me where it breaks. And now they're using it. And whenever they break it, I go back to Claude and say, hey, it breaks when I do this. Can you improve it? And it will improve it.
Mm.
So whatever you are doing, your operations, start with AI there. Don't use it to create images with 6 fingers. Nobody cares about that. Use it or use it to solve your main operational problems that you have on your desk right now.
Let's take a pause right there. That's a beautiful statement. And I was thinking about it this morning. Thought about doing a social media post on this. And I post about AI all the time, but I literally every single day now, if there is a repetitive routine task that I do, I am trying to find a way to automate it with AI every time, no matter what it is. No matter what it is, if I'm going through my day and I think to myself, man, I do that every day. Okay, let me figure out how to build an agent or a chat GPT or whatever. I got to figure out how to automate that. Anything that is tactically repetitive, I'm trying to figure out a way to automate it.
Totally. And over the next days, I will go to Claude and say, hey, Claude, this book that I'm doing with Jay Abraham now, I don't want it to burn me out like the old one did. Let me tell you what sucked when I was writing the old one. Help me find a better process. Let's be the project managers of this. The criteria are, it's fun, it helps a ton of people, and it doesn't burn Simon out. Let's go. Let's start with the milestones. Help me think through the milestones. Help me decide the publisher. Help me decide this. And it will be my thinking partner.
Yep. This is good conversation, but my question now is, because I'm sure you're thinking about this, because I think about it. I'm like you. I would consider myself pretty versed on AI, more than most of my friends. I'm not an expert, but I'm definitely in the top tier. You know, if I go down to the pub and I have some beers with my friends, I'm ahead of most of them, right? Anyway, and so there are often times, even with our current clients, because Riderflex, we're a recruiting and staffing firm. That's our day job besides the podcast. And, we'll produce something and we'll do it efficiently and quick and fast. And of course, we've used AI to help us in the production of whatever it is we're producing. And my friends or my clients, their minds will just be blown. They'll be just like, oh my God, that's so great. I can't believe you did that so fast. La, la, la. And I have a strong sense that is a short-lived praise mechanism, because as the regular commoner gets more used to using AI and they catch up with me, I'm not gonna be able to blow their minds as easy, because they're going to be using it just like me, and a lot of people aren't yet. And so I feel like there's this short window of me looking like a freaking genius until everybody else figures it out.
Yes, enjoy it. And I think the really relevant thing is to stay the person that gets asked. So you are the guy that gets asked about the newest way of doing things, right?
Yeah.
So how do you stay that? I think you stay that by focusing all these AI superpowers on your core operations. Like you staff people, like you solve recruiting problems for people, staffing problem, people's problem, right?
Yeah.
And if you direct the AI on that, hey, how can I have the best database on the planet? How can I be the quickest to find a solution even before they ask me the question? So you start making it your thinking partner for the highest leverage problems that you solve for your clients. Because, and that's the blue one. I call it the strategic value. What is it that people actually buy from you when they buy from you? What they actually buy is never a product or a service. What they actually buy is, hey, Steve, help me be ready for what's coming. I don't know exactly what's coming. So help me be ready for, if you're an expert, you know what's coming. And so tell me and help me be ready. That's what I pay you for.
Yeah.
That's the blue one. And so people who have strategic value will always be the people that get asked. And where you feel, okay, they're an expert, they know what's coming, let me ask them, and I'm happy to pay them a lot of money because they will make me ready for what's coming. And that's the most important thing for me.
That's good stuff, Simon. Really good stuff. And I think there's definitely opportunity there to continue to be the person that's asked. You know why? Because so many people just won't invest time to learn or stay up on top of the knowledge. They just won't spend time on it. They're busy watching their little Netflix TV shows or whatever, and they just won't spend time on it. And because they don't want to, or they find it boring, or they don't find it interesting, or whatever. They want to watch. They want to look at cat pictures all day long on Facebook for 6 hours, and they don't want to spend time. And so that's okay, cool. And then call me when you need me, because I'll be on top of it.
Yes, absolutely. They have many things in their life, right? And if you can help them with one of them, let that be your strategic value.
How about this? Let's go futuristic here as we wrap up the call. By the way, that was all great advice. Appreciate you sharing that. Let's go futuristic. Where are we headed, man? You're probably like me. Whether it's AI or robotics or whatever, you're probably on top of it. Where are we headed? Do you think we're headed towards? You got these two camps, right? You got the dystopia. Oh my God, Terminators are going to kill us all, and then you got the utopia. Robots are going to create this awesome world. None of us are going to have to do anything. Where are you in there?
I think I'm quite optimistic. And so everybody focuses on this dystopian side. But actually, if you look at, we had horses and then we had cars, and everybody was afraid of cars. Oh my God, they're going to kill everybody. And now cars are normal.
Yeah.
Right? And still we have some horses.
True.
And here in Vienna, in my city, horses are even used for transportation because it's fun. You don't need it, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
It makes this click, 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 click. It's fun. And so they do it for fun. So I think the big fear is, will everybody lose their job? No, but it will drastically change, right? Most of my clients, they need just 1/3 of the people that they needed last year. 1/3. So if they wanted, they could cut 2/3 of their people because everything is now more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't cut 2/3. Many of them, they cut 1/3, but the other third, they get actually more interesting problems to solve. Hey, now that you don't have to do that research, because research is now done by AI. So help me, come with me, help me solve that actually bigger problem that I have. Oh, I don't know how to do it. I'm overpaid to do that. Well, find a way. Come with me, find a way. And you have tools. So you're not alone. You have tools that you can use. So now they have more tools to use. They will get more responsibility because they will get higher leverage tasks, more creative tasks. And to be honest, if a task can be done by a machine, should it really ever be done by a human?
Yeah, good question. What happens to the third that gets laid off? Universal basic income? What do we do for those people?
Well, just because this company or this team doesn't have your perfect task doesn't mean there isn't one. So actually, I'm somebody who has no job. I create my job on my own every week. It's pretty cool to be jobless, to be unemployable. You become an entrepreneur.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a positive outlook. And I try to stay super positive too. I really do. I lean towards where your answer. I'm a little more pessimistic as it relates to the short term. I do think longer term we will, quote, figure it out and the dust will settle. I sense that there's a shorter term messy period where cuts are happening faster than new jobs can be created or faster than people can pivot or be retrained. And that will cause some shorter term pain until the dust settles. I'm a little nervous about that.
Yes, but as a door closes, a new one opens. So many companies, they will lay off and they should lay off, but other companies will emerge at the same time. New companies will emerge for the same reason, right? The same innovation. The other side of the coin is that that technology creates new opportunities now. And now you have 5 new companies and they need people.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Anyway, it's a fascinating world we're living in, isn't it, Simon? Can you believe? I mean, I'm older than you. I mean, listen. When I was a kid, I used to have to get up and change the channel on the TV for my dad. I mean, listen, I can't even hardly believe we're living in a world like we are now. It's mind blowing. I wake up every day. Hell, it's moving so fast I can't even keep up.
Yes. So I see my kids, the 9-year-old, for example, he knows about companies. He has bought his first stock. He bought 1 share in Amazon because Amazon is bringing all these packages all the time. So they must be cool. And they are always on time. So he really trusts when we order something that it comes tomorrow. And it always comes tomorrow. Sometimes even the same day. And we go like, holy hell, how did they do this? They must be so well organized. And so he bought 1 share from his own money. And
Pretty
every
cool.
week he's asking me, how is Amazon doing? And so we're learning about that. And you
So,
know
yeah.
what's the cool thing? 30 years ago, you would have no information of what is Amazon doing, how are they doing.
No.
You would have to know somebody who works at Goldman Sachs, and they would fax you some data.
That's right. Wow. Yeah, you're so right. Uh,
Now he goes just to the internet. Well, first of all, he has access to the internet.
Yeah.
So that's the world they are facing. It's in a beautiful world where there is so much information.
I know.
You can pick from hundreds of public companies. Their information is available. He can study. He's passionate about numbers. So he can study their cash flow statement, income statement. He can decide if he prefers Apple or Amazon or Disney, right? These are the names that they know. And then he can put his money into that and be part of an economy that's growing. I mean, how cool is that? And he's not even in the US, but he can participate in that pretty strong dynamic force that the US is. So that's an amazing world.
It's very cool. It's a great time to be alive right now. I'm happy to be living in it. Not that living in the Roman days wouldn't have been cool, but still, it's pretty cool to live right now. Simon, hey man, I really appreciate you being on the call on the Riderflex show. Thank you very much for sharing your story. Congratulations on everything you're building, my friend.
Thank you, Steve. If people wanna find me, they can go to strategysprints.com.